Broadcasting from the Bryant neighborhood on the historic Black South Side of Minneapolis. Welcome to People Power.
Welcome to People Power, speaking truth to power by bringing you voices from the grassroots. My name is Merjan, I'm your host, and thank you for joining me for a brand new episode. My apologies to everyone for being away for so long. I've been on a long break from this podcast, but in the meantime, I have been busy reporting on some important struggles for Unicorn Riot that I'll get into real soon. Today I have part 2 in my mini-series on the murders of Ahmed Badal and Jaden Blackmon that took place in South Minneapolis just 12 hours after Dante Wright was murdered by Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter. I have an interview I did with the widow of Ahmed Badal just weeks after he was murdered, and I never released the audio from our meeting, so I'll play that to you shortly. It has been reported that Minneapolis police have arrested a suspect in these murders. Javon Joshua Knight has been charged with the murder of Ahmed Badal, but not Jaden Blackmon. However, there are many conflicting stories in the new information that has been released by Minneapolis police via local mainstream media, which we'll get into after my interview with Ahmed's widow. When the double murders took place on April 12, 2021, local news reported that neighborhood kids were just wilding out shooting at each other. However, my investigation, which included interviews with the families of Ahmed Badal, Jaden Blackmon, as well as several neighbors who witnessed the aftermath of the events, painted a very different narrative than the one being pushed by network news channels. When I talked to the family of Ahmed Badal, they were adamant that Minneapolis police killed him, and they were very convincing. Here's my interview with Gaari Abdi, the widow of Ahmed Badal, in May 2021, just weeks after Ahmed was killed and a week or two after she gave birth to their 6th child, a baby who was born after his father was murdered. Gaari, have you been contacted by the police after Ahmed was killed?
This
is Gaari Abdi, the widow of Ahmed Badal, speaking through an interpreter.
No, I'm not contacting police, but the police contact with us and they said you have to come his wallet. We have here his wallet. So guys, yeah, you can come to pick up his wallet.
And did the police have an interpreter or who did they talk to?
may wiil malaha booliska ka tirsan ayay ku dhaheen gabadha la hadal waxaad ku tiraahdaa waalidka soo doona.
I think one of Somali guy, member of the police, called her and they said, tell her to come and to get
and he spoke to her in Somali.
Before 2 weeks is the time they called her and said you have to come to become his wallet.
markaan waxay dhaheen telefonka harsanaa telefonkan ka sugayay maanta ila soo hadlay wuxuu dhahay telefonkii wali wixii laga baaranay lagama dhamaysanin booliska kama dhamaysanin.
The police had his phone and they said we trying to look or find it and information even in the phone, and when we finish it that we will let you know to pick up your phone.
Okay. And how did you first find out about Ahmed's death?
Ahmed dimashadiisa siyaabad ku maqash.
Ahmed dimashadiisa waxaan ku maqlay ani 4tii habeenimo markay ahayd wiilal ba igu soo garaacay waxay igu dhaheen muu yimid Ahmed maya baan ku yiri wuxuu igu yiri Ahmed anoo la hadlayo oo khadka ugu jiro ayaan qaylo maqlay telefonkiina igama qabanayo.
The guys came to her, knocked the door 4 a.m. in the morning and waxay ku dhagan Ahmed miyaa garay
adi markay labadii ahayd
So
labadii markay ahayd buu wiilku khadka ugu jiray oo isla
adiga
hadlayeen
sida ku maqashaa lagu yiri
aniga sida aan ku maqlay waxa ii yimiday wiilal socda waxay ugu dhaheen Ahmed taan ula hadlayno khadka isugula jirnaa weyne shaqadiisiguna waxbaana qayliyay marka qayladii waan jirnay telefoonka ku celcelinay waana laga qaban laayahay
the guys came 4 a.m. in the morning and they said I was online with Ahmed that time and after that I heard on just noise and people some extra voices and that's the last time we heard his voice but there is a kind of something is involved in there is something voice that they heard is around him somebody talking like that's the last time the guy said I heard his was as I was on his phone but I heard that voice people's voice and that's he hung it out.
When's the last time you talked to Ahmed?
I think goorma ugu dambeysay isaga isla hadashaan
waxa igu dambeysay habeenkaas markay 12 barkii ahayd adiga kowda wax yar la
12:30 in the morning
May habeenka
oh
for the night
Yeah.
at night he's getting killed that's the time
Adi markii la dili
so
rabay
it is before 1 o'clock
Before one.
yeah not that much but it's
Okay.
before 1 o'clock 1 a.m.
And what did he say to you? What was that comment? What was the last things he said?
muxuu markaa ku yidhi aad isla hadlaysay bilmatal kale ku dhaca
waxba kana ooyo kan yarba ooyo u qaraacay
yeah
ka yarba intuu igu ooyay
Oh,
u
okay.
qaraacay
my
waan
son
soo hooyanaya ana
cried.
imanaya buu igu lahaa
And I tried to call him to talk to him. So that's how I called
Talk
him.
about
And that's
that,
how
okay.
the conversation was.
Did he say what time he was coming home that night?
Ma kuu sheegay waqtigu ku soo noqonaya guriga.
waan imanaya buu igu yiri waan ana imanaya hadda u soo baxaya
I'm coming now. So I'm leaving now.
Oh, okay. So he was at the end of his shift.
Marka maybe kii u dambeeyay waxa baan u malaynayaa buu.
qofka ugu dambeeyay markaa la waxa wiilasha markay la hadlayeen ma soo hooyay baa lagu dhahay magaalada waxa ka jira qashqashaad iyo wali ma soo hooyay qofkii ugu dambeeyay hadda qaadayaayo area lagu gudi doona ayuu qofku joogay markaa
The guy on the phone said, "Oh, the situation is not good tonight," and he said, "Oh, I'm picking up the last client, customer, so on, and then going home." That's what he's saying. The guy on the line.
And what do you believe happened to Ahmed Badal?
maxaad isleedu aaminsan tahay baa ku dhacay wiilkii
walahi hadda aniga bili aadan baan ahay waxaan ku qiyaasi karo dad meeshina gaari baa galay waxis eriyanayna way galeen wax tilina ma sheegi karan
I don't know exactly what happened.
laakiin saan anu malaynayo sheekada sidii loo soo saari laayay wax loo qarqarinayo boolisku inuu dileen baan malaynayaa
there is other vehicles in there. There is other people involved, and I know what they hide it. What did they hide it? Sometimes I thought that maybe was police shot him and killed him. That's what comes in my mind.
Because they're hiding and they're not
They're hiding
being
because she
helpful.
said, "I don't have." Seen
hatta
something."
markii la dilay annagana lama soo xiriirin lama soo wicin looma imanin looma sheegin
Even when he was killing, nobody didn't call us. Nobody didn't tell us and say that's what happened.
And have you seen any police report?
Police
From
report
that
me
time.
agaragteen. Police report hore. No.
How about autopsy report?
Miyaa xitaa uu si uu dhintay iyo wax sidii ka hadlaya iyo
Maya.
dhakhtarkii iyo wax laga sheegay
wax ka sheekeen oo hadda
uu
hadal
nafbaxay.
waxa xataa wuu nafaxay ama waa dhaawac ama waa la dilay waxna yidhi anagu
We don't
ma
have any information about this whole story. How he died.
anigu wiilasha markay saa iigu sheegeen annagaa baxnay meesha shilka lagu galay baan tagnay gaarigii markaana laga hor qaaday waxaan arkay gaarigiisa taarikada xagga dambe bahal yar ku dhaganayd baan garanaynay baashan ku karnay gaariga inuu gaarigiisii yahay
Uma la garanaynin.
gaariyaasha isku wada egaan karaan
Habeenkii baa tagteen.
afartii habeenimo shantii habeenimo markay ahayd baan aroornimo ahayd baan tagnay meesha saas
Oh, 5 in the morning they
Gaariga waa
went
laga hor qaaday.
where the accident was happening and they have seen a plate number that something is sticker or something that she knows it is a plate number she have seen in there and she understand it is his car. Oh, they already towed the car.
bambarkii dambe ka
But the part of the bumper is broken and it's in there. and she saw it and she knows it's their cars.
waxaan arkay bambarka xagga dambe kaga yaala meel yar oo jamnayd baan ku kartay.
I saw the bumper is there, and I know that our bumper, there is a part of the bumper is broken, and I see the part is there, and it's our car is bumper, and I have seen the letters or papers on his name is on the floor, on the ground.
On 28th Street.
28th Street could be a markas.
28 and 14.
28 and 14 intersection.
Okay.
warqadaha daadsana.
warqada daadsanna waan arkay warqadahan.
That paper is on the floor, and the ground was on his name, some of them.
Okay.
So I understand it's, this situation is, it's our car is, I know.
And I understand one of the survivors paid you a visit.
Oh, say again?
I understand that one of the survivors, one of the other victims who survived, paid you a visit.
waxaan maqlay buu yiri qof ku jiray meeshii oo ka badbaaday inuu ku yimo soo booqday.
waxa ii yimid aniga ku adi lahaa waxa isagu nagu leeyahay ani 7 nin oo madow anaga na qabsata iyagoo 4 ah.
Makii ku yimo kugu dhahaya
3 quray ani ii yimid.
Okay.
marka mid baa ka maqnaa 4 baan ahayn buu yiri. wuxuu yiri 4 anagoo ah ayay wadada nagu qabseen 14 iyo 29.
yaana qabsaday.
ayaa waxaan qabsaday dheheen 7 nin oo madow ah. xabaday nagu qabteen. wayna istaajiyeen waxaan ugu dheheen buu yiri been waalidkiina.
Okay, so can you share that? That guy came to her. He said we were 4 people, and we were at that intersection. So 7 African American guys came to us, and they said, "Guys, bring your wallets." Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So todobada wiilba waalidkiina keena. Okay.
marka adu mid baa wuxuu dhahay way dhaawaceen.
One of them said they shot me a gun on his leg. halkan ay ka togteen.
hawana mid kale leeyahay wuu ku jiraa meesha isagoo dhaawac u dhakhtarka isgeeyay.
And this is the one who went to the hospital that night. He is the one that they get that shot, and he went to hospital at that night.
Did he see who shot Ahmed?
Ma ku yiri Ahmed wixii togtaan arkay.
nama oran.
No.
He didn't say. Do you have his name?
Ma garan soo garan soo ma. No.
gaariga hadda kurayga si wax sheegayaan anagu saan u fahanay wixii shilka galay ee la eryanayay kurayga ayay ahaayeen.
As the way they talk, the police is after is these 4 Somali guys. One of them is visited her. That is the people the police is after and trying.
markii la dhahay mid baa dhaawac ahaay dhakhtarka isgeeyay iyo iyagoo hadalkay nagu dhahay markaan isku fiirinay waxaan u qaadanay in iyagu meesha ku jiraan kurayga yar yar.
I believe it when we heard the one who got a gunshot went to emergency, and they said we were 4 people, and that's how I understand how that I maybe believe it. Maybe it's not right or wrong. I believe it. The police is after these 4 guys vehicle.
gaariga galayna kurayga wada umaleynaa gaarigiina waa la hayaa kuriga waxaan ugu dhahay gaariga naga booliska gacanta ku haya.
And maybe the car hit Ahmed's car is the car for these 4 guys, Somali guys. And the police have the car, they have the car, that vehicle. The other vehicle hit Ahmed's vehicle.
So the guy who came to visit you, was he a kid or a man?
qofkii ku yimi qof weyn buu ahaa mise inan yar buu ahaa.
adi 20 ilaa 21 meelahaas.
21 years old.
And so do you believe his story? It sounds like it doesn't make sense.
wuxuu isugu sheegay wax macquul ma noqon.
It's not what he says not makes any sense in my evaluation. He's looking for information. He want to get her
information.
He
was wanting to get
exactly.
He's trying to get information from her.
From her, if she knows more than they didn't know, says he want to get information from her.
What kind of information?
يعني warku ka raadinay maxaad u malayn kartaa kale.
wuxuu nagu dhahay wax war wixii dilay iyo wixii waxan geystay miyaad aragteen.
He said, do you have any idea who killed him, or is there any information you have?
So they wanted to know what you knew.
Exactly.
already.
They want to know what she knows.
Okay.
They're looking
marka
information.
anagu markay saan ugu dhaheen waan shaknay waxaan ku nidhi anagu wax noo sheegay iyo waxaan maqalay maanaan arag meesha baaritaan baana socda
I right away I got suspected, and I said, "Oh, we don't know nothing. Just we don't know what happened."
So you didn't say that you think the police are hiding something to.
waxba umaadan sheegin, waxba maadan bihin, police
Waxba maanan dhinan.
No, I didn't say, and it's because I suspected. I
anaga
suspected
markay nagu
completely
dhaheen
that.
wiilkii wixii dilay iyo wixii waxaan geystay maada la helay iyo baaritaan iyo wax markay nala galgaleen annagii baaba cabsano oo shakino isla booliska qolyahan soo dirsatay
When they asked me who killed him, do you have anything? Do you have any information? I said, what is going on? What are they looking for? Who's behind them? Well, I don't understand what it means.
Did this guy who came to visit you, did he say anything about him contacting the police, or did he mention the police at all?
idin yimiyu booliiskii la hadlay oo booliiska la xidhiidhiyay waxaas midnamiyay waxay idinka sheekeynayeen. The police told us there was 7 African American guy, and they are the one who shoot the guy in the vehicle. Ahmed's vehicle, yeah.
No.
Maya.
In their vehicle. They said that's what they said. That's what they say. Police
they're
told
saying-
us. So she said completely, I suspect that guys.
So that guy, did he say anything about Jaden Blackmon, the 15-year-old? Did he have anything to say about the 15-year-old?
No.
No. Okay. What do you want people to know about Ahmed? About what kind of person he was?
Ahmed, maxaad uga sheegi lahay dadka? Ahmed qof sideeya buu ahaa? Qof sideeya baad u aragtaa? Sida muxuu ahaa yani wanaagiisii inaad faham Ahmed qofku ahaa?
Ahmed wuxuu ahaa qof dee dadka la socon karo oo shaqadiisa mooyaane aan shaqo kale aan horta ku dir aan aadin buu ahaa. Habeenkii wuxuu soo hoyan jiray 1 ama 12 maalinkiina wuxuu bixi jiray 3 ilaa 4 galabtii.
Okay, intaa sugar. Ahmed was a nice guy, family man, good guy. He taking care of his children, and he mostly went to work at what time? Like 4 or 3 p.m. Yeah, that's at the time he started his first, started his job, and mostly back home like around either 11 or 12 at the midtime at night.
nin aad u fiican buu ahaa oo dadka
nin dabeecad fiican oo dadka la socon kara oo
gaal iyo
islaam ruuxay sarkaan isjeclaadaan mooyaane aanan
very nice guy. Everybody loves him. A good guy, very friendly for everybody, not us, the whole thing in the community. Everybody's friends.
Especially his family, like my side.
Can I, do you want to say your name?
Yeah.
Sure.
My name is Nasri.
And you're Ahmed's sister-in-law?
Yes. And he was a good guy. He used to help me the most. When I used to go to work, I don't drive the most. He used to drive me. When I need when my sister caring of the kids, I used to call him and say, I need a ride. And he used to give me all the time. And he was a good guy. He was my friend. He used to help my dad the most. And he was a good guy. I have a respect for him. Yeah.
Thank you. And Gaari, what do you and your children need right now?
maxaad adiga caruurtaada maanta caawimo ugu baahantihiin?
Caawimo waan u baahanaa ninkii u shaqeynaya laga dilay.
I need a help because you understand he was who is the families take responsibilities on him. Everything, his children as a family, he was the person that we get in our responsibilities on him, our life. It's dependent on him.
Caawimo waan u baahanahay wixii dilay iyo wixii kii shilka geystay iyo kii dilay iyo laba intaba in la soo qabtaan u baahanahay dhow layga caawiyo xaqiisana in la soo dhiciyaan u baahanahay.
I would like to get more information how he died, what happened, how it happening, and also to face the justice. Yeah, those who did this, whoever they are.
Hold them accountable.
Yes.
Yeah. واحد ويدينيسين محي.
meel walba waan weydin han biinkan ku
Every hospital they're trying to find.
What hospital?
Hennepin County Medical Center. They went 3 times.
3 times.
And said, "You guys, do you have anybody was killed? Do you have? We look at someone was missing. We don't have."
2 ilaa 6 minutes in the morning ilaa 2 one we're
From 6 a.m. up to 12 noon the day, they trying to get whether he was killed or not.
And each time they said no, they had no information.
marka dhakhtarka tagtay waxay yiraahdeen
information bama haya.
And we called police 10 times and said, "Do you have any idea that guy, whether he was killed or what happened? Do you have an idea?" They said, "No, we don't have an idea."
But he was at Hennepin County.
Yes, dhakhtarku yiri.
How did you find out?
We went 3 times there and they didn't tell us anything. When we asked, "Do you have anybody who was killed? Do you have anybody like do you have any idea?" They said no.
booliskana dhowr jeer baan waxna aan ku niri qofkaas aan la'nahay maad aragteen aan sheegnay ID-giisa iyo magaciisa wax walba aan u sheegnay way noo sheegayaan.
And the police we called 10 times and we asked that guy have that name, this ID, that kind of identity. Do you have any idea? Do you have seen anything was killed last night? Do you have anything about that? We are missing that guy. They said we don't have an idea.
How did you eventually find out he was at Hennepin County Hospital?
markuu dambisa ku ogaateen inuu Hennepin yaalay.
waxaan ku ogaanay walaashay wiilka qaba ayaa ciidamada booliska militariga ahaan jira. kaasa markii dambe 8 Hannibin ku tagay wuxuu dhahay qofkaas markuu sharcigiisa diibay baa lagu dhahay qofkaas waan haynaa.
Her brother-in-law went to hospital. He was in military, American military before, and he shows his IDs and everything. And he said, "We want to know that guy have this name or this ID. We have to know whether you have his body in here or not." And they said, "Finally, oh yes, yeah, we have the body here."
halkaas uu ogaaday markii dambena waxa lagu dhahay halkan ma yaala meel kale uu yaala. markii aan ka soo noqonay boolisku qofku waxay maqaanay booliska
waxay ku dhaheen waan haynaa bodiga miya.
waan haynaa laakiin meel kale uu yaala.
Oh, we have the body, but the body is not here, this hospital. It's somewhere else.
So you couldn't see it?
boolisku la hadlay wuu isu sheegay in sharciyadiisa iyo wixii oo dhan buu booliska u wada sheegay. aad markii dambe uu ku dhahay qofka aad diidaysaan waan haynaa waana uu dhintay.
xaguuna markaa yahay
Hannibin dhexdeeda.
Hannibin taqariinaysa eraysa ma hayno. Finally he called the police and he introduced himself, who he is, that he was a military, he was this and he was this, and he said that we're looking that missing by the person. And they said, "Oh yes, we know," and his body is at the Hennepin County Medical Center, where they told before, yes, he was killed, but we don't have his body here. But when the guy called the police and introduced who he is, his background, they said, "Yes, we understand that body is in Hennepin County Medical Center." That told them that the body is not here. He was killed, but the body was not here. The police said, "Oh, the body is there." idinkina waxay dhaheen waa la dilay laakiin ma yaallo. Poliiskina waxay dhaheen halkaas u yaala. But they never tell anybody, local people, just when he introduced the police who he is. Like he was a kind of person, this name, was military, American armies, and full information, he gave who he is, his full information. That's the time they talk to him. And that's the time Hennepin County talked to them, saying, "Oh, he was killed, but the body's not here." But as a lot of people, when we trying to find and went there and looking, said, "No, we don't have an idea."
And who was that? That was Who actually went to the hospital? You said he was in the military?
His brother-in-law.
Is that Muhammad?
Her brother-in-law.
It's a man's brother?
Yeah. Well, her brother-in-law.
Oh, Bashir.
No?
Yeah. Oh, different brother. Muhammad.
Yeah. Muhammad is finally the one they accepted his, what he asked them. But as a family and his wife and family went there and they said, we have missing, do you have that body or anything about this? They said, no, we don't know, we don't have an idea. But the body was there.
Oh. And so you didn't get to see the body until the funeral, is that right?
Yes, that's on the funeral day. That's the only day they showed them the body.
What day was the burial?
So he was killed on Monday and the funeral was on Wednesday. So they have 2 days in there. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They release the body Wednesday. Early in the morning they take to the mosque just to come together and then burn. That's on the day they have seen the body.
Okay. That was Gaari Abdi, the widow of Ahmed Badal, speaking through an interpreter. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune newspaper recently reported that Javon Joshua Knight has been charged with the murder of Ahmed Badal. However, there is a lot of conflicting information in their story that contradicts some hard facts in the case that my investigation has found. For starters, reports claim that a group of friends were at dinner on Lake Street at 2 a.m. However, they do not identify the people or the restaurant involved. There's not a lot of restaurants open past 2 a.m. on a Sunday night in Minneapolis in general. There was not one mention in any of the recent news reports that this was the day Dante Wright was murdered by Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter when looting broke out across the metro that night, including Lake Street, where this group allegedly ate dinner at 2 a.m. This was the first night that the Law Enforcement Emergency Declaration Operation Safety Net went into effect and a curfew was strictly enforced, so restaurants would have been ordered to close early that day. If reporters had done their due diligence, they would have easily caught this. We know that a string of robberies occurred near the intersection of 15th Avenue and Lake Street, where this group claims it ate dinner at 2 a.m., including several businesses and a Somali wedding party that was allegedly tear gassed by Minneapolis police after people were assaulted and robbed by a group of young men during the wedding. There's an unidentified man in the reports who was with the group that allegedly ate dinner on Lake Street at 2 a.m. and is being portrayed as a victim. After they allegedly ate dinner, he was brought back to his car on 29th and 14th Avenue, where he was robbed and shot in the leg. But what Jaden Blackmon's mother told me just a few weeks after the double murders contradicts the new narrative released by police. She said that her son and his friends robbed a Somali guy who had a gun who had just robbed a bank on Lake Street. In the process of robbing him, someone shot the Somali guy, and he in turn shot Jaden. After the robbery, Jaden and his friends ran back to the car, where Jaden told his friend, a 14-year-old who was driving, that he was shot in the chest, and they drove off heading towards the hospital. Within moments, they crashed into Ahmed Badal. Jaden's mom said Minneapolis police have been trying to convince her that Jaden's friends accidentally shot him inside the vehicle that he was riding in during the one-block ride from 29th and 14th, where they robbed and shot the guy in the leg, to 28th and 14th, where the accident happened. However, police offered no evidence backing their assertion. It is clear that the alleged victim who was shot in the leg was not randomly targeted by Knight and his friends like the reports claim, but rather he was deliberately targeted because he and his friends had just robbed a bank or some other establishment on Lake Street. It appears the alleged victim who was shot in the leg is either the person who murdered Jaden Blackmon or was an accomplice of the person who murdered Jaden and should be named as an accomplice and charged with murder right alongside Javon Knight. And according to Gaari Abdi, Ahmed Badal's widow, He is the same guy who visited her with two of his friends after the murders occurred and tried to get information from her about her husband's killing.
One of them said they shot me a gun on his leg. This is the one who went to the hospital that night. He's the one that they did that shot, and he went to hospital at that night.
I have statements from credible witnesses, including family members of the victims, that conflict with the narrative Minneapolis police has put out in the mainstream media. Again, I cannot prove Minneapolis police murdered any of these people, nor am I even saying I believe that. But the family of Ahmed Badal sure does, and I can certainly prove the police are covering up something big. They're protecting the guy who was shot in the leg, and the families of Blackmon and Badal, as well as the public, deserve to know why. According to the Star Tribune, surveillance video shows that Knight's vehicle approached the intersection 10 seconds after the crash. Someone exited the vehicle, quickly drew a gun from their waistband, and started firing at Badal. Now, curiously, the Star Tribune failed to identify the shooter, and it did not confirm that the shooter was Javon Knight. The Star Tribune also stated that Jaden Blackmon was found dead in the suspect's car. However, it has been confirmed that Blackmon was inside the silver vehicle involved in the accident, not Knight's car that pulled up 10 seconds after the accident. But questions still remain. Who killed Jaden Blackmon? Why was Jaden, who was murdered that night along with Ahmed, not named as a victim, but rather an accomplice in the robbery and murder of Ahmed Badal? If Jaden was unarmed, which all reports suggest he was, how can he truly be an accomplice to someone who was armed like Knight? And how did this horrific accident and murder of Ahmed Badal take place if cops were in such close proximity? Where are the police body cam videos and dash mount videos from that night, and why won't they release them to the public? A few months ago, I sent a request for the police surveillance videos to the city, but my request was denied due to ongoing investigations. However, the police told the family of Ahmed Badal that the investigation was closed. What are they hiding? And finally, who fired the deadly shots that killed Ahmed Badal? According to the Star Tribune, even though Knight said he didn't fire the deadly shots, it was a reasonably foreseeable consequence of the armed aggravated robbery he participated in, the charges read. We have to ask the question, is Knight being used as a scapegoat? I have a lot more on the murders of Ahmed Badal and Jaden Blackmon that I'll be bringing to you soon. And we'll be back with more episodes unpacking the murder of Jacob James by Sioux Falls Police, the deep corruption in Minneapolis, and more work that I've been covering for Unicorn Riot. Shout out to the homies Nico, Dan, and all the other great staff at Unicorn Riot for covering political corruption across the U.S. from Montgomery to Minneapolis. They've been reporting on the rise of the right-wing movements around the world, from Richmond to Rio de Janeiro, as well as the grassroots movements fighting back, from Athens, Greece to the Gaza Strip. Check out their work at www.unicornriot.ninja. Also, shout out to Isaac Specktor for audio engineering. And as always, all power to the people who organize. Peace.